So we are having the first round in the losers bracket between Nitrox and Ras. Nitrox is playing a Parthia control deck, whereas Ras is playing Gyolg LWD. So Ras started first. He has charged a Muse Rubble and Surfer to mana, and Nitrox has charged a Judgment to mana. Let's see how this duel unfolds. So Raz draws into an Aqua Skydiver. He has a lot of multicolors in his hand, and the Giga Claws is going to be very useful here because Nitrox does not have a blocker currently to protect himself against the Giga Claws' ability. But Raz needs another creature to trigger its Turbo Rush. He has not unlocked the darkness mana yet, so that may be something which we need to look at. Nitrox top decks a Parthia, which he promptly puts into mana. Plays the all cost to ramp. Both players haven't unlocked their darkness colors yet. Let's see what Ras plays now. I mean, is he going to go for the Giga Claws plan, or is he going to play Pointer? Is what we need to look at. Oh, he keeps the call on him. Maybe he's not going for the Giga Claws plan. Maybe he wants to Pointer here. Yeah, Ras puts Giga Claws into mana and Pointer. Oh, that's a good snipe. He snipes the Terror Pit, which is the other darkness mana other than Gekimetsu, which Nitrox had. Nitrox plays Judgment to draw 2. Ooh, Nitrox draws into his Lost Soul, which is bad for Raz actually. So Raz draws into El Kaio. I think it'd be better if Raz dumps his hand here. Maybe put the Muse Rubble to mana and play. Is he gonna play both his Maxwells? I think that'll be the correct play here because Nitrox has a Lost Soul. No, he plays a Maxwell and an El Kaio. Nitrox draws into a Parthia here. Nitrox draws into a Farzi here. He has a Parthia as well, but he hasn't unlocked his darkness color yet. Is he going to put the Gekimetsu into mana so that he can Lost Soul next turn? No, he chooses to put the Farzi into mana and plays the draw spell, Prism Brain. Draws into 2 more darkness cards. But all of them are multicolor, so he can't exactly Lost Soul next turn, but he can play his Gekimetsu. Now Ras has the option of playing Gyolg, but is he going to choose to play Gyolg is something which we need to look at. I think it'll be better for him to play Muse Rubble, kill this, and then play Gyolg next turn after Nitrox plays the Gekimetsu. But then this has a risk. If Nitrox draws into a monocolored darkness card, he's just going to Lost Soul Ras. Maybe he's thinking about the same thing. No, he decides to Gyolg right now. Is he gonna break shields though? Yeah, he chooses to break shields as well. Okay. This may be risky because a Terror Pit trigger would kill, and Nitrox gets Plant Trap, puts the Maxwell into the mana zone, draws into Persistent Prison of Gaia and a Miraculous Snare. I think he's gonna Persistent Prison the Gyolg here because, or he's gonna play Gekimetsu. No, he decides to he decides to put the El Kaio into the mana zone and draws into Bombazar. It's turn 8. It cannot be very ideal, but Nitrox has persistent prison. Oh, Nitrox got Plague as an answer to Rash's aggression. I think this looks slightly difficult for Rash to win without any resources. Okay, he plays the Plague. Puts the Geolg into hand. What is Rash going to do here? He plays the Elkayo and the Max Sword. We are at turn 9 now. Nitrox has Persistent and Mardox as an answer against Rash's aggression. Decides to put the Parthia into mana zone, plays Lost Soul so that for sure he knows that he's gonna hit the Geolg. And he reached turn 10. Okay, Rash draws into another Maxwell. Things are not looking great for Rash now. Nitrox has control of the field, has much more resources than Rash does. 7 cards to 1 card of Rash. The only way Rash can come back here is if he top decks a Geolg, which means also not necessarily. Okay, Nitrox decides to clear Rash's field by playing the Mardox, killing it, and then playing Geki. No, he decides to Persistent Prison instead. Does not hit the Elkayo again, so can't burn a shield. This good looks bad for Rash because if Nitrox plays Geki here, he loses his colon. Let's see what Nitrox decides to play. So he decides to play Geki, brings out the Mardox, I guess. Yeah, he brings out the Mardox. Okay, Rash decides to kill the Elkayo instead. He's got the Geol. Oh, he should have kept the Elkayo there. He top decks a Geol. This is not looking good for Rash. He decides to break the last shield, which is a Terror Pit. Okay, what is Nitrox going to do? Maybe he plays the Agapetos with the Bombazar. Because he knows he'll get the extra turn. Yeah, looks like the play which Nitrox would do would be this. No, he decides to take him instead. Oh yeah, this stops from Rash from top decking because the only way Rash can win now is if he gets a colon trigger in his shield. Okay, Nitrox decides not to attack. Rash gets a Kiki Kai in hand. Maybe he plays the Kiki, tries to stall out the game. I think that's about the only way Rash can win here, but Nitrox can play the Mardox or another Gekimetsu and kill the Kiki as well, along with the Bombazar extra turn. Oh, things are looking very bleak for Rash currently. Let's see what Rash does. Let us actually see what Rash does here, because we need to look at. Oh, he decides to put the Kiki inside the mana zone actually. Alright. Nitrox decides to play Bombazar, Dragon of Destiny. Gets the extra turn. I think that's GG's because Nitrox has an extra turn. Rash does not have a master ability. So. Breaks 4 shields with Kikimetsu. Let's see if Rash gets any triggers. Ooh, Rash has got a Skydiver and a Surfer, but it's gonna be difficult for him to survive this. he decides, I think he'll bounce the Agapathos here. No, he decides to bounce Bombazar instead. So, Nitrox attacks with Agapathos. Ras can choose to block or hope that he gets a Terrapit and another Surfer trigger. Maybe. It is difficult for Ras to win here. He attacks with Mata, gets another Surfer trigger. Maybe he bounces. Maybe he bounces the Farsi. Yes. I don't think Ras can win here because of the extra turn, and Nitrox has another speed attacker in his hand. Nitrox decides to pull both the surfers. Plays the Gekimetsu again. Gets out a Parthia. I think that's GG. Game 1 goes to Nitrox. Yeah. Okay, so we are currently waiting to play the second match in the losers bracket round 1 between Ras and Nitrox. Nitrox was able to win the first match by controlling the field and summoning Gekimetsu for the win. But Ras was able to break all 5 of Nitrox's shields. I think the game plan here for Ras is going to be the aggressive deck and try to break Nitrox's shields before Nitrox controls his boards. The only caveat to this plan is that Ras is playing a lot of blockers. He plays El Cayo and Maxwell, which is not going to put a lot of pressure in the early game. So he needs to get his Duel out as soon as possible if Ras wants to win the next game. Nitrox, on the other hand, had a good performance, which is a spell-based control deck of both Farsi and Parthia. But if he did not draw into the Bombazar, or if he had attacked earlier with his Gekimetsu, he'd have lost because Ras has a lot of triggers in his decks, inclusive of Skydiver and Surfer. So let's see what happens in round 2. Let's see what changes they've made through their side decks as well. So in round 2, Ras is starting first. Let's see their starting hands. Nitrox draws into quite an early curve with both Farsi, Ulfos and the presence of Curses and Terror. Ras has also drawn slightly early. Ras has decided to add an Eagle Cargo into his deck from his side deck so that he puts the early pressure, and he has drawn into his Propeller Mutant as well. I think Ras's strategy now is to go aggro, curve out to Propeller, Eagle Cargo, Jenny and Pointa, and try to finish us before Nitrox can control his board. Yes, Ras is attacking. Let's see what Nitrox gets. Nitrox gets Parthia from his shields. He draws into Apode, which could be something which Nitrox could look at to control the field. Plays Farsi. Ras draws into Muse Robo, which he promptly puts to mana, and I think he's going to Jenny here. That's going to get the Apode. And I think he's going to attack with both Propeller and Cargo. Yes, he's attacking with Propeller first. Nitrox gets a Miraculous Snare, which is going to stop this aggression. Let's see if he gets a trigger. Yes, Nitrox gets a trigger as well, which is Plant Trap, which is not great. But I think Nitrox will clear Ras's field by snaring Eagle Cargo and killing the Propeller Mutant. He'll also get the snare back because Farsi also dies. Oh, Nitrox drawing into a second Gekimetsu as well. Let's see what Propeller Mutant discards. Propeller discards the draw card, Prism Brain. So Raz draws into a Geol, plays the pointer to discards the Mardox, but then Nitrox can Miraculous Snare him again. Puts a Parthia into the mana zone and plays the snare. Yes. So Nitrox has 2 Gekimitsu in hand, and Raz just drew into his energy stream. Let's see what he gets with this draw. He gets a Maxwell, which is actually pretty good for him because Nitrox is 2 turns away. So he can play the Maxwell and try to summon the Georg next turn. Nitrox draws into a Surfer, which he can now then use to bounce the Maxwell. Yes. I think Raz can play the Muse Ball and look to flash summon Georg next turn. No, he decides to play Giga Cross instead. Nitrox draws into a Lost Soul, which is what he needed. He needed a non-multicolored card to play. And he plays the Metsu to kill the Giga Cross. Let's see if Raz gets a non-multicolored card, because if he doesn't get it, that's gonna be GG's. No, he draws into the Kiki Kai. What Raz can do now is maybe play the Maxwell and play the Kai and see if he can stall the game out. That is one, but the problem with this is Nitrox has a Mardox in his grave, and if he plays the Geki and links the Gekimitsu God, then both his creatures will have to die. Raz decides to play the Maxwell and the Kai. Oh, Nitrox draws into a Terrapit, which he can use. No, he decides to link the gods together. Gets the Mardox out to kill. Yes, that's what happens. Now, what is Raz gonna do? Raz kills his Maxwell. Nitrox attacks at Gekimitsu. This is gonna kill his Kai. And he breaks 4 shields. Let's see if Raz gets any triggers in any of these shields. No, Raz did not get any triggers in the shields. But he can choose the Miraculous Snare to put Gekimitsu into the shields for Nitrox. Raz puts energy stream into the mana zone. Let's see if he plays the Miraculous Snare, because he is under a lot of pressure. He is gonna die next turn. He has Eagle Cargo and Maxwell to play as well, but Gekimitsu while attacking can easily choose to kill the Eagle Cargo if he lets the attack through. Then he has to block the Surfer attack with Maxwell if he does not get any triggers. So it's been a rock and a hard play for Raz. He decides to Miraculous Snare the Gekimitsu for now. Nitrox draws into a pointer. So let's see if he decides to play Gekimitsu or pointer. He decides to play Geki. Gets out, I think, Farzi. Yes, he decides to get out Farzi. Will he attack though? I don't think he'll attack. Okay, now Raz has got a Skydiver and an Eagle Cargo, but this is not looking good because he needs triggers for him to win, and Nitrox can Gekimitsu again next turn and burn his mana. So Raz puts the Skydiver into mana and plays the pointer. So Nitrox is gonna blink his god and attack again. Let's see if Raj gets any triggers. Triggers are the only way Raj can win this game. Raj gets 2 triggers, which might save him. But none of them are bounce triggers, so he's Spartan has to block the Surfer to survive. And I think that's GG's for Raz actually. Or it looks like it. He puts a Surfer into his mana zone. I don't see any way he can come back here. Because he does not have 2 blockers and he has no way to remove all 3 of Nitrox's creatures as well. I think this loses bracket round. Nitrox has won. Yes, Raj decides to point up. And attack Nitrox's shield. Let's see what Nitrox gets. He gets an Ulkos and another. He decides to attack with Parsi and Nitrox wins the losers bracket first round 2-0. Congratulations Nitrox. Well played Raz.